guys, how's it going? It's Molly. Today we're going to be doing a ranking video. I've got 10 eyeshadow palettes in front of me. These are the most recent palettes that have come into my collection, whether it was I purchased them specifically or they came in like a lucky bag. But I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys about kind of how I feel about all of the palettes, with the disclaimer that I don't believe there's a single palette in this stack that I have used every single shade of. So this isn't meant to be a full-on review. This is more like based on first impressions. This is how I'm ranking these palettes. So, and as I'm sure you guys are aware, there's no science behind this. This is simply my feelings, how I feel about these palettes. So some of these may be like some of your absolute favorites, and that's I'm very happy for you, and some may be ranked fairly low for me. That being said, I don't hate any of these palettes. Like, nothing I would consider a fail. There are just some that I'm very like meh about. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start at the bottom. And I kind of struggled to figure out which one to put at the bottom because there's two palettes that really just kind of flopped for me. And I'll explain why I ranked them the way that I did. So first up is the Viseart Coyish Attendu. The reason I have this at the bottom is because it's all shimmer, and it's a shimmer formula that I don't love. So, and I should have known that prior to purchasing this. I knew that Viseart shimmers weren't necessarily my favorite, and my critical thinking skills were just not on point that day. So I think I'm pretty sure I got this with a Black Friday sale. So it was pretty heavily discounted. And I believe this was raved about. I know it was raved about. I thought it was in this particular YouTuber's like best of the year, but that doesn't really time out well because usually those come out in December. Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, somebody said that this was great and I jumped on it. I was like, oh, it's on sale. Yeah, I don't love it. The Viseart shimmers, they're very pretty. They're just kind of old school shimmers. Like they're subtle, and I like more impactful, like bang for your buck shimmers. And these aren't it. They're pretty, but they don't wow me. So it's at the bottom. Am I gonna get rid of it? No, I'm not getting rid of any of these anytime soon. At some point probably, but not for a while. Okay, next up is this Nomad Fée de Provence. I have no idea how to pronounce it. If you've watched my videos for any length of time and are consistently watching them, you know, like French and I, we don't know each other. Anyway, this is what the inside looks like. I thought it was a beautiful color story, and I still do. I will say the mattes in this are beautiful. Like Nomad's mattes are great. It's the shimmers. The shimmers just don't do it for me. They're not, I think of the two palettes, I like these shimmers better. But the reason this is ranked above that is because these mattes are so good. So I can absolutely get some use out of it, but the shimmers are possibly, like they feel like they're gonna be somewhat buttery. And I think some are, but it's not a consistent formula. Like there's some shimmers. I hope I've got some other things swatched there that have like wiped off. But the shimmers are just not great. They're just meh. I think they need quite a bit of help. Like I don't know. So the ones that I think are good are the yellow here and kind of the steel gray and the purple. But these two over here are just, they're like these weird satin shimmers. The formula is just not what I want. So not into it. For reference, I do really like, like Sydney Gray shimmers are fantastic. Terra Moons, Looksy, those just like buttery, super foiled, beautiful shimmers. I love those. And neither of these palettes have that. Okay, next up. This one is from Clarity Cosmetics. And I am ranking this low because there's a pressed glitter and I don't love that. Now, I got this for free. You should, if you follow Clarity Cosmetics on Instagram, they will occasionally post this like scavenger hunt. And the idea that you go on their website and there's always a palette or some product that is $0. You just pay shipping. I got this one around Black Friday. I think the color story is fine. The pressed glitter just fell out of the pan. So that's gone. That's all over my Nomad palette and my table. Cool. We're loving that. These shimmers though are beautiful. Like this is gorgeous. Maybe I can rank this higher now that it doesn't have a pressed glitter. I could do that. Whoa. And the mattes I think performed really well. The only thing is there's only 3 and these are all deeper. Now, Clarity, I believe, is women of color owned. And so I don't expect this to like work with my skin tone perfectly. But oh my God, like that shade, this shade here, it's called Caramel Orgasm. That's a perfect name for it because, oh, it does something to you, you know? So yeah, it's beautiful. I do really, really like it. Oh man, there's that shade swatched. Okay. Next is the 1111 palette by ColourPop. Here she is. The reason this isn't ranked higher is because it also has one of their like weird pressed glitters. I don't know. I haven't gotten any use out of that. But I like the gradient of color. These shimmers are really, really pretty, although this feels like it's a little bit dry. I don't know. I haven't used all of the colors in this palette, like I said, but this color story is one that I'm going to be, like, it's just a bit more wearable, and so that's why it's ranked a little bit higher. And it is, I mean, ColourPop's got good mattes. Generally, their shimmers are good. I don't know. There's some finger swatches of the shimmas in here. They're really pretty. It's a nice everyday palette. Next, we're gonna do this Of Quartz palette by ColourPop. I ranked this one a little bit higher because it doesn't have a pressed glitter. And the shimmers are more of a, like I would use all of these shimmers. There's like in the 1111 palette, this icy shimmer, I'm not gonna get a lot of use out of that. I don't like shades like that on my lid. Really, the only purpose for it would be either to use it as a highlight, which I think would be way too much, or as an inner corner highlight, and that's just a lot of shadow for a teeny little space. I just don't use those shades very often. Anyway, this one is absolutely beautiful. I do love it. If you are in the market for a cool tone palette, like, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would recommend that. Okay, next up is the Danessa Myricks. What are you? Groundwork, Defining Neutrals. I got this in my lucky bag and I was excited because, first of all, it smells really nice. I can't tell what, yeah, it's the shadows. Anyways, I got this in my lucky bag and I was initially, like, I had a mixed reaction. I was hoping for the Lightwork palette and didn't get it, which that would have been crazy because I got the Lightwork 4 last year. So to get the Lightwork 5 or whatever, you know, the newest one, that would have been crazy. But I did get this one and I will admit, I don't quite know how to use it. I've tried using some of these, like the larger pans are creams and the more slender pans are powder. It's a lot of cream. Like I'm not, that's why it's not ranked higher. It's good quality, but it's just, I don't know what to do with all of these creams. I did try to use this shade here for my eyebrows. That was kind of a shit show. But I have been loving this shade here to deepen up my outer V. I'm going to use that up, I think, probably, because I deepened up my outer V and I've been using it as like a lower lash definer. I've used the black as like a liner up top and it's beautiful. It does a really nice job. So I just don't quite know what I'm going to do when I run out. And I am already noticing like there are hairs stuck in these creams, and that's kind of gross. But it's very good quality. It's ranked in the middle just because it's all matte, all cream, no shimmer, no fun. But it is super functional. And definitely like if you're, I was going to say if you're a pro artist, it would be a good option. But honestly, I don't think so. I think the creams pose a serious contamination risk, but I mean, you can obviously like scrape it out with a spatula and use it, but that's a pain in the butt. So whatever, just do what you want to do with your kit. But I wouldn't use it if I was in my professional kit. Anyway, but it is very, very nice for personal use. Okay, next up is the Christmas Eve palette by Odin's Eye. This and the Merry Christmas palette released 2022, holiday 2022. They brought it back this past year. I didn't get it when it first released. I got it on the restock, and oh my God, they're beautiful. I ranked these where these are. Merry Christmas is coming up. Just stay tuned. I ranked this where this is because I feel like there's quite a bit that you can do with it. When I first saw the color story, I wasn't super impressed. I was just like, ooh, when am I going to use that many blues? And why are these yellows here? But it works. Like this for a transition, this to deepen it up. Any of these shimmers, yes. Yeah, there's multi-chromes in here. These shimmers are beautiful. Everything they said about this palette was legitimate. I'm super happy that I have it. There is just so much that you can do with this, and it's gorgeous. There's a couple of shades that I know I'm not going to get a lot of use out of, specifically like these blues, probably not really my thing, but oh my gosh, there's just, like I said, there's multi-chromes. So there's some finger swatches, like this is the blue that I'm talking about. Probably not going to get a lot of use out of that. It's just not my thing. Ooh. It's a little bit crumbly, but oh my goodness. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Odin's Eye's shimmer formula is, I mean, I think some of them are probably better described as toppers, but if you just use them with some glitter glue, it's a full-on opaque shimmer. And they're just, oh God, they're beautiful. And some are like super, super smooth. Like this shade here, this is the Felting. I mean, felting? I don't know. But this shade here, that's like it. There's some super smooth shimmers, and then there's some chunkier shimmers. But like this one is the Snow Light. Like, I mean, use it over a glitter glue. And yeah, that's going to be more of a topper, right? But they're beautiful, and you can do a lot with them. So I'm happy that I have it personally. I had serious FOMO, and I love it. Okay, I'm really happy that I just said that. I'm happy that I have it. Okay, next up is the Nomad Ghost Town USA. Is that what you are? Yes. First of all, this color story is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It's cool tones, it's dusty, it's neutrals. The one thing that I wish there was like a more like warm toned matte to make these shimmers work. Because it feels like these shimmers work with these, this shimmer works with these, and this does too. And then these greens work with these three mattes. But like these shimmers, I don't quite know what to do with them. So yeah, it'll be what it'll be. But I will say, absolutely beautiful. This shimmer formula is Nomad's newer formula, and it's much, much better. I still wouldn't say it's a favorite shimmer, but I love this color story so much that I just had to rank it where it is, you know? It's good. Next up, we've got the Cozy Cabin palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. This is good. This is just beautiful. And I thoroughly appreciate that, you know, we've got rows or columns columns. And each column is a look, but you can also skip around and create something completely different and unusual. These mattes are beautiful. The shimmers, oh my goodness. These shimmers are fantastic. I typically don't love blue eyeshadow on me, but the first look that I did with this palette was this row here. So transition, deepening, and all over the lid. And oh my gosh, it was probably one of the most beautiful looks I have done in a long, long time. God, yeah, there's some swatches of the shimmers. They just, oh, let's not stop there. Let's just keep going. They're so gorgeous. They are super, super pretty. And the mattes also, like, they're just so pigmented, but not in a dry way, you know? So they blend beautifully. I couldn't recommend it enough. I'm excited to see what Simply Posh does in this coming year. Okay, now for the number one palette. Honestly, it was a toss-up between this and Cozy Cabin. I think this is number one just because it had that like serious FOMO for so long, and once I got my hands on it, it was just, I felt like Gollum. It's my precious. So it's the Merry Christmas palette, and I really like it. Today I have this shade on my lid. I think it's probably, like, it's a multi-chrome, and I'm curious to see, like, I paired it with some warm toned neutrals from my Persona Identity palette. And I'm wondering if it's gonna look even more green if I pair it with some of the green mattes in here. I might try that this weekend. Definitely not like on a work day, just because that's out of my comfort zone. But anyway, there is so much you can do with this palette. Yesterday I used this shimmer here. It was absolutely gorgeous. These mattes are beautiful. You can just do so much, and I love it. There's that shade swatched. So very much, I mean, the formula is going to be super similar to the Merry Christmas. No, that is Merry Christmas. The Christmas Eve palette. So everything that I said about that formula stands true with this one. I just like this color story a bit better. Like, it's a bit more wearable for me. And I am just very happy that I have it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I need to get to work. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.